Welcome to Bubbies Know Best podcast edition. I am the executive producer of this crazy show that we're on. My name is Brad Pomerance. You don't care about me. You care about our Bubbies. Bubby SJ.
Hi.
There she is, my Bubby SJ. How about Bubby Linda?
Hello there.
Yep, and Bubby Bunny. So later on in the show, the Bubbies are going to be talking to Jacob Laval. Jacob is a young actor who is playing Selden on the chilling HBO series, The Plot Against America. You will love meeting 12-year-old Jacob. But as we do every week, we start with our Bubby Words of Wisdom. We love our Bubbies Words of Wisdom, don't we?
Yes.
Let's start with Bubby Linda.
So I'm going to elevate the podcast today by beginning with a quote from Socrates, who said, "The unexamined life is not worth living." So what better time to examine our lives than while we're under quarantine? Right? That's what we have to do, right? So, I mean, you might be with a significant other. Just tell them to go in another room and find a quiet space and just think about your life. Think about, for instance, do you like the person you are? If you were another person, would you want to be with you?
I'm just tired of Linda being so smart and giving us such great advice. Just because you're the sage, Bubby, that doesn't mean you should be sage all the time.
Well, in that case, I'll end with Shakespeare, who said, "To thine own self be true."
Of course. We love you, Linda. Let's hop on over to Bubby Bunny.
Okay, for all of those who want to date again, who want to kiss again, and during this pandemic, I have the wisdom of all of you getting a digital, no-touch adult body thermometer.
What?
Right? Before you get near them. That's all that we can do.
Where can you buy that?
Oh, my heavens, just probably anywhere anymore, because we do want to kiss again.
We do.
Just ordered one.
Yeah.
We do.
I've seen them online. I do.
Really?
Yes.
How about you, Bubby SJ? What's your words of wisdom?
The thing that I've learned in life is to want what you have, not to want what you don't have.
I love that.
And be happy with what you have. You've been given a blessed life.
You're the best three Bubbies ever. And speaking of wanting what you have, not what you want, it's okay to want a date. Isn't that fair, SJ?
Yeah.
That you can want.
That's
So I wanted to ask our Bubbies,
That's right.
what are the best first date questions? The first dates are hard, but you know all. You're the ones with lots of wisdom. SJ, let's start with you. What's your favorite first date question?
All right. Do you have a job? I'm just saying right there, right? Do you have a job?
It's an important first date question, I have to admit. What do you think of that, Bubby Linda?
Well, I think that's very important. Another one might be, are you married? And if you're not, would you like to be? Do you like children? Do you want to have children? You know, you have to know if this person wants a serious relationship. That's kind of a good first question.
Well, how important is that, Bubby Bunny, on a first date, though? Should you ask those ultimate questions about marriage and kids on a first date? Linda says yes. What do you say?
I disagree, Bubby Linda. I think that's getting a little bit too heavy. I want to know firstly about who the person is. I would ask them, like, what is something that I wouldn't guess about you? I want to know who they really are. I'd like to know it. And if you didn't have to work, what would you do in life? That tells me more who they are inside before I get to the other questions.
Linda, what would you be, Bubby Linda, if you weren't a cantor and a Bubby?
Oh, if I weren't a cantor and a Bubby, what would I be? I would be an equestrian.
Oh,
wow. Ride horses.
What about you, Bubby SJ? If you weren't selling lights and being an actress and a singer and a Bubby, what would you be?
Well, I used to be a teacher, an art teacher, so I would go back to doing that again.
Okay.
I love doing ceramics. That's probably, and working with my hands. So I'd probably be doing that again.
See, Bubby Bunny, this shows that your first date question is the winner. What would you be if you weren't what you were right now? Bubby Bunny wins. Okay, so when we come back, the Bubbies are going to talk to Jacob Laval. He is on an absolutely chilling, critically acclaimed series on HBO. Yes, Bubby, SJ, it's so good. It's called The Plot Against America. We're going to be right back on Bubbies Know Best Podcast Edition.
Yay!
Welcome back to Bubbies Know Best Podcast Edition. It is time for Bubbies Interviews, where the Bubbies interview one of their favorite celebrities. We are joined today by Jacob Laval. Jacob is part of the cast of a critically acclaimed HBO show called The Plot Against America. It is absolutely chilling if you have not seen this series. In A Plot Against America, Charles Lindbergh is the candidate who runs against FDR, and he is successful. As we know, Charles Lindbergh is no friend to the Jews, and sure enough, life becomes very difficult for Jewish Americans, and Jacob is part of that chilling cast. So, Bubbies, let's have at it. Bunny, why don't you start with questions to our kind young man, Jacob Laval?
Jacob, you are so adorable. I mean, you're 12 years old. And I'm thinking, my heavens, when I was 1 year older at 13, I ran home from school, turned the television on, and I saw Dick Clark's American Bandstand. I hookied from school. Oh, not good, but I went to the show and it changed the course of my life. That is how I got started on American Bandstand and this whole acting career. Now, how was it for you? Because I see that you like musical theater. How did you become interested in that?
This may sound weird, but when I was younger, like 2, I always wanted a job. And when I was like 8, I remember my mom coming to me. I was in 2nd grade, and my mom said, "Hey, I heard you can do extra work." So my mom does photography, so does my dad. And so they bring in people, they take headshots, and my parents get paid for it. And I remember one of her customers saying that her kid does background work. So I remember then my mom telling me, "You can do background work." So I got started doing background work, but then I realized I wanted to be more in the spotlight. So my mom got me a talent agency, Take 3 Talent, which all aspiring actors should partner with. And I remember how immediately soon, after about a year, I started booking parts.
Oh, that is wonderful. Oh, well, I want you to know, Jacob, when you want to learn how to jitterbug, do the twist, or do the pony, you give me a call and we'll dance.
Okay, thank you. You said you were on American Bandstand. My great uncle was also on American Bandstand, but only one time. He was on the episode. He was a part of Vito and the Salutations, that band group, and brought him in on American Bandstand once.
That's wonderful. All right.
Nice.
Wow. Well, Jacob, I have seen some of your work, and you are one talented dude.
Thank you.
So I heard that your first gig was in a Ford commercial, which is kind of ironic since Henry Ford, who is known to be anti-Semitic, is a character in The Plot Against America. Now, what do you think of that?
Well, I got this when I was 9, and at that point, I never actually knew. And if I did know, I probably wouldn't have done it. But let's just hope now that Henry Ford is dead, and so let's hope that Ford isn't anti-Semitic.
Good answer. One more question. How did you land the role of Selden in The Plot Against America?
Well, I remember going to the audition, which I remember first just getting the audition. And so we went there for our first audition. It was like at Times Square at an acting area. And I remember we had such bad luck getting there all the time. It was like, I remember what happened was we were going there in a cab, and then my mom was trying to enter in the credit card, and it wouldn't process the payment. And then she was And then she was pulling out wallets, trying to see if she can grab a card. And then all of a sudden, something random happened. And I remember my mom losing all her cards. And so she paid with cash, which thank goodness there was enough. And then during the callback, I remember how we were going there, and the Uber driver, he took us all the way up to 69th Street and then stopped us in front of an emergency vehicle for 30 minutes. And we were like so worried that they weren't going to like me and I wasn't going to get the perk because we were very late. Regardless, I got there. I got the perk anyway. And
I can see why. You, like I say, you are one talented dude. Mazel tov.
thank you.
Oh.
I remember I had this acting coach, I still do, named Dana, and she was the one who helped me get the part. She lives around Startown, like just across the street from me, and she's my acting coach for most of the auditions I get. And that was the second audition I did with her, and I booked it.
Wow. How much did you want it? I mean, was this like the most exciting thing to ever happen to you?
Well, usually I start to care more once I get the call back. Once I get the call back, that's when I really start to care.
I get it. I
I
understand.
was really excited. I was really excited when I got it.
Beautiful.
I started screaming.
Jacob, you are adorable. I just have to say, you're gorgeous. So,
Thank
you know, without giving the plot away, Selden had to go through a lot in his life. And Jacob, I loved your performance, how you showed emotion, not only with your face, but with your whole body and your expressions. Did you work on it, or did that come naturally to you?
Some of it came naturally. I had to get into character. But there was this one part where I was in the car, and I remember that the face I made was I loved it. I loved it.
Oh, right.
I don't think it was that, but the face I made, the words I used to describe it aren't appropriate because here in this house.
Well, you're only 12 years old, right?
Yeah.
You seem like a very smart young man. What message do you take away from the plot against America?
I know there's a lot of messages you could take away. There's this one message at the top of a billboard. It says freedom can never be completely wrong, but it can be lost. And so that was what I would pick.
Oh, wonderful.
Oh, I love that.
Beautiful.
Great. Oh my God. And I love your curly hair like mine. I bet your mom has curly hair, right?
Yes, she does. Everybody in our family has curly hair except for my grandmother.
Speaking of your grandmother, speaking of your bubbies, what we like to do on Bubbies Know Best podcast edition is honor the grandmothers of our guests. And that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to honor Jacob's grandmothers. Here they are. This is your mother's mother. We're going to show. There she is again.
Oh, precious.
She's no longer with us, but we honor her. Here's your father's mother. We know she's with you in a big way.
Oh, adorable.
So
Oh, gorgeous.
I went to Disney with her in January.
Oh, the best. I bet you're ready to go back to Disneyland. I know we are.
Who is it, right?
Right.
Yeah, I remember a time when I used to go to Disney every day. When I lived in Florida, in Florida, my mom had the annual pass, so we just were like, let's go every day.
Jacob, you have the heart of an actor. I can see that and feel it. Enjoy your journey, and God bless you.
And as my bubby would say, he has a Shana Punham, which means a sweet face. Thank you so much for joining us, and congratulations on your remarkable performance in The Plot Against America. It's airing on HBO right now. It is absolutely remarkable. We love you, Jacob Laval. And when we come back, it's Bubbies React.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Welcome back to Bubbies Know Best podcast edition. I just love Jacob. What a great young man. We are going to engage in what I call Bubbies React. You've seen it on YouTube. You've seen it everywhere. It's when we have our Bubbies React to videos from some of your favorite reality shows. And today, Bubbies, we are going to ask the ultimate question. Are some things better left unsaid? And we're going to look at a clip from one of Bubbies Bunny's favorite shows on television. That show is called Marrying Millions.
Yes.
I thought I've told you that I was engaged for a short period of time. Did I not ever mention it?
No, darling. You never mentioned it.
I didn't tell Gentil about my previous relationship because I just thought it was bringing dirt into a new relationship. I didn't lie. I just didn't share it with her.
From what I can understand from Rose was she was wealthy.
What does it really matter? I've never been married.
Brian,
every girl knows
you were engaged before. You don't think that's something that's important to talk about or tell me now?
My ex-fiance and I, we dated about 5 years and we were engaged for a little under a year. The relationship ended because we realized that we weren't that compatible, and something that's not meant to be shouldn't be forced. It was a lot.
So what do you think, Bubs?
Well, I'm on his side. I've watched that show, and he really did love her. And I don't think you have to tell someone all of your baggage, because then it puts a division in the relationship, and it rents a space in your mind, and you see them, and you're always thinking about him and the other person, or comparing, am I better, is it worse, or whatever. I think he was right in not telling her. It's not important. It's history. Let them live now.
Okay, Bunny, I totally disagree with you. He was dating somebody for 5 years and engaged for 1 year. And by the way, that woman was wealthy as well. That's kind of a big thing to not tell your person that you're engaged to now. Well, if he's lying about that, what else is he lying about?
He's not lying. What also you're not seeing is she had 4 girlfriends who were very against him because he was from the other side of the tracks. And I think basically that was the reason why he didn't want to talk about it. It would be something else that they would pounce on her, that they didn't think she should be with him.
Well, should have told her.
Really loved her.
Let me interject here, and I agree with Bubby Linda. Let me tell you my experience, because I have an experience with this. I've been married 3 times, okay? I never told the second husband I was married to husband number 1. And that came back to bite me in the ass, okay? So I wasn't honest with husband number 2. And that's really hurt me in my relationship with my son. So I agree with you. The truth is the truth is the truth. Be honest about everything in your life. It's
wow.
Your butt.
Bubbies Bunny, you're in the minority here. I can't believe it. You're rarely in the 2-1 minority. Why don't we go to the next clip, again from Bunny's, or at least one of Bunny's favorite reality shows, Marrying Millions. And this sets up the question. We have one member of an engaged couple who wants everything said, or let's say everything decided. This is also from Marrying Millions.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not that kind of girl that's going after you for your money. And your dad is getting that in your head.
I don't think my dad put these thoughts in my head. They've always been there after my parents' divorce. It was traumatic. I mean, they had a 10-year divorce. The lawyer bills were in the millions. Look, what is wrong with signing a piece of paper and then we're safe? Like if something happens in the future.
Why would I go after your money? I am content with family. I don't care about money. I don't care about cars. Yeah, it's nice to have in life, but I am not with you for that.
Then what's the problem with signing a piece of paper? Just sign it and just forget about it.
Yeah, that piece of paper is like a sword in my heart. It means you don't trust me.
Well, I am not a gazillionaire, but Sean seems like a pretty sincere and a nice guy. And when you have all that money, you have to kind of think ahead. And I don't think that she should just sign on the dotted line, but I do think they should see an attorney. And I do think they should talk about what would happen if, let's say, the marriage broke up in a couple of years, and if they have children, he has to protect himself. So I'm in favor. Yes.
When I got married, my husband and I both were very comfortable. I had a business. He had a business. We both were very comfortable. and we both didn't sign a prenup. Forget about it. I mean, and if he didn't have money and I did, so what? So he'd come to live with me. He could have half of everything I have. I love him. So
we're talking about gazillions.
No, gazillions. So how do you know what I had and what I didn't have, Linda? Okay. I don't believe in a prenup. That puts a bad taste in my mouth right away. You want me to sign something? Forget it.
Bunny, you're the tiebreaker.
Bubby SJ, in a perfect, beautiful world, wouldn't it be wonderful that our word is our bond, that our word is you do a handshake? But unfortunately, it's not that way. We can't take it personally if someone asks us to do a prenup. People like Heather Mills, who got Paul McCartney for $50 million, who said in the beginning, oh, I don't want his money, and he felt comfortable enough not to have her sign the prenup. Those are the women that make it bad for all of us. Oh. If I don't want somebody's money, which I don't, sure, give me the paper. No problem.
Good God, Bunny.
Bubby Linda.
Well, there you have it. Bubby Bunny, Bubby Linda in the majority. Bubby SJ, you're in the minority, 2-1. What a great show this has been. Jacob Laval, amazing. Great videos, great wisdom. I want to remind our viewers that you can, of course, watch this podcast on all of your podcast services, or you could be watching it right now on JLTV, Monday nights at 8. Now, remember, this is key. If you want to ask the Bubbies any questions, all you have to do is to email us at Brad. Again. Now, if you want to get any wisdom from the Bubbies, just email us for Bubby Wisdom. Bubbies Know Best at jltv.tv. And don't forget, you got to follow the Bubbies on social media, Twitter and Facebook at Bubbies Know Best, Instagram, Bubbies Know Best Official. That is critical, right, SJ? You're a big social media gal.
Yes, honey, that's right. Follow us. We have all the wisdom you'll ever need, darlings.
Honestly, this has been such a great show. I am so honored by all of you Bubbies. Bye, everyone. Bye, Bunny. Bye, Linda. Bye, SJ.
Gagas into hay. Don't take any wooden nickels.